so far? Well, you know, Lauren, it is what it is, right? You can only be what you can be. It's about as good as to be expected, right? Living life. Hey, Liz. Hey, everybody. Just making coffee and then we'll start reading. Lauren, you should start coming to book club so when you have your baby, we can read to them as well, you know. Oh, you're still having contractions? Oh my goodness, yeah. One of our book club babies, baby E, was just born this morning at 2:22. You're making bracelets? What kind? How many book club babies have we had? Autumn was the first book club baby, Mary's daughter. She was earlier in book club, like really early on, because she's almost 2 now. And then my nephew Ethan was the next book club baby, and then there was one more, and then my baby, and now baby E, and in the wider Rainbow Slam Girl community, not just book club, we've had other babies as well, but in book club specifically, I think we've got four babies, hey Anya, which for book club, you know, that's pretty good. 4 babies. I got my grab bag order yesterday. I'm so oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad I picked a good one for you. I really wanted to make sure you got a good one since it was the last one. And it was your first one. As soon as I hit maternity leave, I'm doing book, but you totally should. We're reading, I mean, not that it matters because your baby will be too small to really understand anyway, but we are reading a kid-friendly book currently. And it is, gosh, it's so phenomenal. I don't know if I know you know who Chris Colfer is, Lauren, but I don't know if you broke your Nespresso. Oh, no. Hey, Mama's here. Everyone tell Stephanie congratulations. The new baby is here. Baby is here. Congratulations to our newest mama. Yay! Stephanie did a masterful job, and they're both healthy, and they're both good, and now they're just in recovery, which is all you can hope for, you know? So exciting. We've been waiting for this baby for a long time. I mean, obviously, you can't really wait more than 9 months, but I'm just saying, well, you can if it goes on, but that's not the point. We haven't been waiting more than 9 months, but we've been waiting a long time, and we did the gender reveal for this baby on a live, and this is a community baby. Sorry, Stephanie, this is our baby. And for those of you who don't know, baby E is going to be sharing some clothes with my baby, because early on when I did the gender reveal, I sent Stephanie some of our baby's little onesies that she had grown out of so that they could continue to live within book club. So maybe, even if she doesn't show her face, maybe Stephanie, when she finally wears them, she'll show us you know, a picture of her from either the side or the back of her wearing the same clothes as this baby. They don't fit this baby anymore, of course, but that's the way of it, right? I think there's something really lovely. She is our baby. Oh, did I send you any preemie size ones? I honestly, Stephanie, I'm so sorry. I just don't remember which ones I sent and which ones I didn't. Because I sent stuff to a couple of different mamas at the same time, because I actually have multiple friends who are having babies within a couple months of each other. Like, for example, Lauren is having her baby next month, and I sent her a ring sling for her baby. And one of the things that I feel is like really just one. Okay, yeah, we didn't have very many because we didn't know we were going to have a preemie. We had like a couple, and I'm not going to lie to you, I actually kept my 3 favorite ones because they were like the cutest little things she wore, and I wanted to put them in a keepsake box for her. But the rest of them I passed on to other moms. But I love the idea of like passing things from mom to mom. Not anything that's been like overworn or dirty or anything like that, but itty bitty babies don't make anything very dirty because they just, they don't wear things very long. But there's something really kind of communal and lovely about it. Like one of my friends who had a baby in August, I passed on my first stretchy wrap to them because I didn't know I was going to get into wrapping so much. And she and I are both Disney fans, and it had Mickey Mouses on it. So I passed that on to her, and she wears her baby in it now. And there's just something so beautiful about it. And she was like, do you want it back now that you're so into wrapping? I was like, you know what, pass it on to another mom so that it can like have a new life, with all these new babies, because they don't go bad, you know what I mean? Like, wraps are wraps. Ray did the same thing for me. Yeah. I have a basket of clothes we were passing around. Yeah, the baby community. My daughter used her first job of her dolls and Wolfers. Oh, for sure. Yeah, passing on special items. Now, see, there are some wraps that Ray gave me that I told Ray this, and, it is what it is, unfortunately, for Ray and for the rest of the world. There are 2 wraps that Ray gave me that are never leaving our home. My husband and I were even talking last night about how we're packing up certain ones of our wraps for when she's bigger to pass on to her children if she chooses to have any. This is one of them. The blue, gray, and the pink one that Ray gave us are among them because, like, we want to give her, like, a variety collection. So she'll have a ring sling, she'll have a long wrap, she'll have a short wrap, she'll have a structured carrier that's still in good condition, and probably a med-eye. And then if we have a second child, we will do the same for them. And because, like, originally my husband was like, well, won't you use the rainbow wrap for the second baby as well? And I was like, I don't think I will, actually, because this feels so specifically special to her because she's had this wrap since she was 3 weeks old. The big wraps that Ray gave us, we will use for both children. But this one, like, I want there to be one thing that's just hers and one thing that's just the other baby's. So I'll get a new ring sling or use one of the other ones that I haven't used yet for her. You know what I mean? I'm not super sentimental, but I love quilts from baby clothes. Oh my God, for sure. Some of the baby clothes we're turning into stuff and some we're keeping. I don't know. It's so hard. The really funny thing about the wrap that Ray gave us, well, she gave us 2, but like there's one that we use a little more than the other. Although I am getting more in short wraps, so that isn't to say that the pink one won't start to get used more. But the blue-gray wrap that she gave us, she actually intended for my husband to use. It's like a security blanket. But it became like the main wrap that baby and I used. I kept one outfit so very much of my littles and stuff dressed. Oh, so cute. They have a stuffy dressed in it. I love that. That's adorable. That is adorable. Okay, so we're moving over here to the land of stories. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Putting down my coffee so I don't spill it while I'm putting you guys on the tripod. Hey, Grayson. How you doing? All right, let me just put you guys on the tripod really quickly. Okay. And I can put you right here. So you're at the back of her head. Let me just readjust her really quickly. You're working on homework. All right. When I was a baby, it says Daddy's not tax deductible. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I love that, Roxy. That's so cute. So cute. Okay. Are we all ready for more of a grim warning? It is time. So, does anybody need a brief overview? Good morning, Kimberly. I hope you do, Andrea. Does anyone need a brief overview of what we did yesterday? Oh, I know. The story makes it even better, right? He's mommy's twin. Oh, that's so exciting, Stephanie. I love that for you. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'm sure James is just through the roof, over the moon, happy as a clam. Okay, so the really good news for anyone who missed yesterday is that there wasn't a lot of action yesterday because we read 1 chapter and we stopped in the middle of chapter 2. So the long and the short of what happened yesterday is that Connor got called into the principal's office and he's like, crap, what did I do now? But it turns out she was just inviting him to a very special event happening in Germany. So in Germany, apparently, they found 3 missing stories from the Brothers Grimm in a time capsule, okay? And they were going to do this big event, and they're going to open them, and they were allowing a few students to come and participate because the principal of his school knows someone who works on that team, whatever, yada yada. So being that he is a budding writer, the principal invited him to be one of those students, and his parents said, well, if you can split the cost with us by doing some chores and things like that, you can go, whatever. And so we saw a lot of him packing. His stepdad loaned him a very old and dusty suitcase that looks like it's in shambles, and he tried to do the mirror thing with his sister. They had a little bit of a chat, and they each broke off a piece of the magic mirror so that when they are traveling, they can still communicate with one another. Then the next thing that we read was the half of the next chapter, which was, and apparently he needed 12 pairs of socks for 3 days of a journey because he believes that Germany is full of puddles. I've been to Germany. It's not full of puddles, but whatever. Connor is Connor, so who knows? But he did. He packed 12 pairs of socks for 3 days. I was like, that's a lot of socks. I don't think I've ever worn 12 socks in a week, let alone 12 socks in 3 days. But listen, everyone's different, and I've also never been a teenage boy, so what do I know? And then we got to see Alex's perspective, and Alex, of course, is in the land of stories, and of course, Amanda, of course. Hey, Isabella, and Alex is on a journey to become a part of the fairy council. She's going to be initiated soon. Yeah, I guess it is good to be prepared. And what we saw was her go to her unicorn Cornelius, and she was like, okay, take us to someone in need. And her goal every day has been to fulfill 3 wishes before noon when she starts her lessons with her grandmother. And she arrived in this tiny little town to an old lady who has 3 grandchildren, and where we stopped, she was trying to figure out what their wishes were so she could help them. That's what happened. So now you're all caught up, and we will continue on our journey. They need nice clothes for school, the woman said, and she sat down at a table covered in thread and fabric. We can't afford to buy new dresses, so I tried making them myself, but my hands aren't what they used to be. She raised 2 hands that shook with arthritis. Well, say no more, Alex said. I'll turn their tattered clothes into beautiful dresses that they'll be proud to wear to school. Oops, why am I not wearing my glasses? Jeez. You guys, you can't let me be doing that. We're going to ruin these eyeballs sooner or later if I keep doing that. The triplets looked at one another with wide eyes. Could she actually do this? Alex was asking herself the same question, but she raised her wand and she flicked it at each of the girls like she was conducting a symphony, and one by one, bright, sparkling light circled each of the girls, transforming their dirty clothes into a vibrant pink dress with a white collar. And the girls looked down at their new dresses in total silence. Alex figured that they were shocked from witnessing magic, but she was very, very wrong. Gross. These are pink, one of the girls said. I hate pink, the other said. Can you, make it another color? The third asked. Alex was taken aback by their ungrateful remarks. She looked at their grandmother, expecting them to be reprimanded, but the woman said, Don't look at me. You never even asked them what color they wanted. Oh, sorry. My mistake, Alex said, and she raised her wand and she flicked it 3 more times at the girls, transforming their dresses into yellow, purple, and blue. Better? Alex asked. I don't like my collar, one of the girls said. I wanted the green one, another girl said. I liked the pink better than this, the third said. Alex's nostrils flared and she bit her tongue. Fine, she said with a tight jaw, and she flicked her wand to grant their requests. Are we all happy? Sure, one of the girls said unenthusiastically. I mean, it's fine, another said. Can I just have my old clothes back? The third said. Alex was floored. She wanted to tell them that beggars can't be choosers, but as a fairy, she couldn't bring herself to say it. After all, she wasn't helping them because they were poor. She was helping them because that's what she was supposed to do. Girls, I want you to thank the nice fairy for the new dresses, even though she doesn't really know what she's doing, the old woman said, and the triplets frowned. Thank you, they said in unison, not meaning a single word of it. You're welcome, Alex said, not meaning it either. Enjoy school. She left the house in a huff and found Cornelius nibbling on a piece of their roof. She convinced herself that even though her first eat of the day had been unappreciated, it had still been a good one. Alex jumped on Cornelius's back and waved her wand over him again. Well, one wish down, two more to go, she said. Take us to our next stop, Cornelius. And the unicorn's horn glowed again and began to run in another direction. Soon they arrived just outside an even smaller village in the northern part of the charming kingdom. Cornelius took Alex straight up a hill and dropped her off beside a well where two village children stood staring down into it. Alex smiled and struck a pose for them with her wand raised. Hello, children, she said, but they just continued to stare down into the well, so Alex cleared her throat. Hi. Hey, how can I help you? Did you drop something down into the well? The children finally looked up at her, but their subdued expressions didn't change. No, the boy said. It's been dried up for a while. Our mom sends us here every day with a pail, hoping there will be water, the girl said. But every day, we return with nothing. Alex was happy to hear of their misfortune. Oh, well, I can help with that, she said, feeling useful. How? The boy asked. Are you going to build us another well? The girl asked. No, I'm a fairy, Alex said, a bit disheartened that she even had to tell them. She was certain that her grandmother never had to tell people who she was. I can cast a magic spell and the water will come back. The village children both raised an eyebrow at her, not buying it. If you're a fairy, then where are your wings? The boy asked. Well, not all of us have wings, Alex said. We come in all shapes, sizes, and variations. The children cocked their head and stared at Cornelius behind her. Is that a unicorn? The boy asked. Yep, he sure is. He's the reason I'm here. Well, he brought me to this spot knowing that I could be a bit of service, Alex explained, and Cornelius lifted his head proudly, showing off for the children. But this was a tough crowd. Why is he so fat? The boy asked. Why is his horn broken? The girl asked, and Cornelius lowered his head and looked at the ground sadly. He broke his horn when he was a baby, and he likes to eat his feelings, okay? Alex said quickly. Now, do you want me to fix your well or not? The village children just shrugged. I suppose, the boy said. You honestly can't get any worse. Alex was so glad to finally get to the point. She instructed the children to stand a few feet behind her, and she peeked inside the well and saw nothing but dirt at the end of a very long drop. She raised her crystal wand and swung it toward the well. The sound of water echoed up the well as the bottom of it was magically filled. The village children jumped and clapped for joy. Hey, you fixed our well, the boy said happily. You are a fairy after all, the girl said. Let's take you back to the village so that they can reward you, the boy said, and Alex shrugged and her cheeks went a little rosy. She was very pleased to be appreciated. Oh, no need to reward me, she said. Everything I do is for the greater good and never expect. Alex stopped talking, and the village children became very still because the ground underneath their feet shook, and a loud whistling sound came from the well as it filled more and more, with water rushing to the top. Oh no, Alex peeped, and she and the children and Cornelius slowly backed away. A massive geyser shot out of the well like a volcano erupting into the sky. I was wrong, the boy shouted. This is worse. This is definitely worse. Run for your life, the girl yelled. And the children ran down the hill and back to their village as fast as they could. Screaming their heads off. Villagers dashed outside of their homes and shops to see what the fuss was about, and they could not believe their eyes. Water from the geyser rained down on the village, drenching everyone and everything. Alex and Cornelius were still getting drenched too. Cornelius, sit on the well. You have to plug it up until I can think of something to do, she said. The unicorn looked at her like she was out of her mind. Please? Alex pleaded. And Cornelius carefully went to the well. His hooves were messy from all the fresh mud the geyser was creating. He lifted his tail and he sat straight onto the well, plugging it up and stopping the geyser. It was a degrading experience for him, but it did prove to be useful. The village cheered from below, but it only lasted a moment. The water built up inside the well and shot the unicorn straight into the air. He landed on the muddy hill and slid toward the village like an avalanche. All the villagers ran back into their homes and shops to avoid him. Cornelius crashed into the side of a barn. He was covered in so much mud that he looked like the horse Black Beauty. Dry! Alex yelled and pointed her wand at the well. Dry up, I said. Dry, dry, dry. And suddenly, a huge ball of fire erupted from the tip of Alex's wand and hit the well, blasting it half into pieces. Thankfully, the water pressure diminished and the geyser died down. The well was broken, but full of water, and the villagers were covered in it too. I fixed it, Alex happily called down to the village below her, and the villagers peeked out from their homes and stared up at her, each soaked, dripping, and furious. The good news is, you have water again? Alex tried to laugh it off, but no one joined her. The muddy unicorn joined the fairy at the top of the hill. All right, Cornelius, let's get out of here. She climbed on his back and off they took, not in the direction of their next stop, but just to get as far away from this soaked village as they could for the moment. They found a tiny stream in the woods and cleaned themselves up. Cornelius had a hard time looking at his reflection in the water. He was fat, broken, and dirty. Would you like me to use my wand to clean you up again? Alex asked Cornelius, and the unicorn just shook his head. He didn't want to happen what happened last time at the well. Okay then, Alex said. I guess let's move on to our final stop. It was a couple hours until noon, and Cornelius's magic horn steered them to the southwest corner of the Eastern Kingdom. A farm appeared in the distance that Alex thought that she recognized. Have we been here before? Alex asked Cornelius, but he was certain that his horn was leading them to the right place. Up ahead, Alex saw a farmer building a fence around his vegetable garden and figured that he was the man that they were looking for. Excuse me, do you need any help? She asked the farmer, and the farmer wiped the sweat off his brow and looked over his shoulder at her. He instantly got to his feet and waved her away like she was a wild animal that he did not want to deal with. Whoa, 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 the farmer said. I don't want any trouble, lady. Alex was insulted. What about her could possibly make him think that she was bringing trouble? Sir, I'm not trying to cause you any harm, Alex assured him. I'm a fairy, and I'm here to help. The farmer placed his hand on his hips and squinted at her. That's what you said last time, he said. The last time? Alex said. So I have been here before? The farmer regretfully nodded. Yes, you helped me put a fence around my yard to keep out the rabbits and the deer, he informed her. And Alex pressed an index finger to her mouth as she recalled. Oh, I remember you. You're Farmer Robbins, she said. But what happened to the fence that I gave you? What's the matter, honey? You don't want to wake up. It's too early. You can't possibly want to wake up now. No. No, no, no. Really? So early? That was only 20 minutes. 20 minutes is not quite enough of a nap. It's not quite enough, honey. Don't you want to sleep a little more? Maybe? Just a little bit? Just a little bit? Hello? Make it enough. That's what he thinks. Are you sure? You really want to be up? Okay. We can go to the mat if that's really what you want, but it's a good time for sleepies. It really is. Oops. See, now I knocked into our friends by accident. That was Mommy's fault. Mommy made an accident. It's okay though, right? Everybody has accidents. Mommy just bumped them with her elbow. You think that's silly? You think that's kind of funny? Alright, I'll grab them and I'll grab the coffee. We can finish in the play area. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I wonder if Stephanie gets coffee today. Oh, I hope so, Stephanie. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I forgot to warn you that it was Tower of Terror time. But I assume everybody knows by now. Good morning, Brennan. Here you go. Here's your pizza. Okay, let's keep reading, shall we? What happened to the fence I gave you? Alex heard a door shut, and she looked up and she saw Farmer Robbins' son coming from out of their house. Alex didn't have any trouble remembering him. He was tall and strong and no more than a year older than her. He had wispy hair that covered his face, and in Alex's opinion, he was very handsome. Wait, why are we congratulating Avery? Oh, she's an aunt now. Oh, you have a little new, wait, your, what is it, niece? Your niece was born? I can't remember if it's niece or nephew, forgive me. You know I have brain issues. But I'm thrilled for you. 2 babies born in one day in book club. That's so exciting. Yay! Mama's happy and healthy as well, I hope. Yay! Yay! 2 babies born today. They have the same birthday. How exciting. Hey, Susan. That's very exciting. 2 babies. September 30th. What a day for book club. What a day for book club. You're blocked from pinning? But why? I didn't block you from pinning. TikTok jail. Well, TikTok has, and I've never understood this. If I make someone a mod, why can't I decide what they get to do? Why does TikTok get to decide what they get to do? I decide what the mods are allowed to do, right, baby girl? She's chewing on her pizza toy. You're too spicy? Same. Hey, you know what the funny thing is? I was a little surprised by this, but I only lost about 200 followers when I announced that I'm not going to be making slime anymore. I thought I was going to lose like thousands. I only lost 200. That's not too bad, right? We could probably get 200 new ones. Whatever. Toss, toss. Anyway, let's keep going. The animals ate your fence, the farmer's son said with a brash smile. It was made of vines and leaves. It was fun to watch you make it grow magically out of the ground, but it wasn't ideal for keeping out herbivores. Don't you have a table to build? Farmer Robbins asked his son. I want a break, his son said, and clearly he wanted to stick around now that Alex was there. She tried her best not to look him directly in the eye. She could feel herself blushing when she did so. Oh my gosh, so soon. Auntie Grayson's coming to visit you in about a month and a half. Just about a month and a half. She's going to come for Thanksgiving to see you with Auntie Mabel. That's right. Well, why didn't you tell me the fence didn't work the last time I was here? Alex asked the farmer. Well, you didn't really give us much of a chance, the farmer's son answered for him. You just sort of waved your hand and then you left, insisting there was no need for us to thank you. Alex shook her head and rolled her eyes. Gosh, no good deed goes unpunished, she said to herself. Well, then I insist that you let me make it up to you. Alex raised her wand and she was just about to make a new fence appear when the farmer blocked her. Young lady, Farmer Robbins said rudely, I've got a full day of chores ahead of me, and building this fence is just the beginning. The best thing that you can do is just leave us alone and stop wasting our time. But that's silly, Alex tried to argue. All I have to do is wave my wand and the fence will be done. I said, leave. Farmer Robbins yelled, losing his patience with her. I don't want your help, and we don't need your help. I know you people solve everything with just a flick of your wrist, but people like us know how to take care of ourselves. So please just go turn a maid into a princess somewhere before I do or say something that I will regret. Did TikTok change your mod ability? I'm going to change them back. Maybe. I can check. Alex's mouth dropped open. She wasn't going to let someone speak to her like that, especially after the awful morning she'd been having. Farmer Robbins picked the wrong day to mess with this fairy. No, Alex yelled at the farmer. What? The farmer said. I will not leave, Alex said, and the farmer's son perked up. This was going to be really interesting. I'm really sorry for going out of my way to help you, but you aren't the only one with a job, buddy, Alex said. She stepped closer to Farmer Robbins then. The fact is, you need my help whether you want it or not, and that's why I'm here. That's why my unicorn brought me here. So swallow your pride, step back, and get out of the way because I'm not leaving until this fence is built. Farmer Robbins looked genuinely terrified of Alex. His son bit his fist and choked on the laughter that was building up inside of him. Alex set her wand on the ground and rolled up her sleeves. She walked over to the farmer and reached for his hammer. What are you doing? The farmer asked. Give me your hammer, Alex demanded. I don't need magic to build this fence. And she yanked the hammer out of his hand and picked up a couple pieces of wood and continued to build what the farmer had started. Farmer Robbins and his son stood motionless and watched the young fairy work. If you two have so much work to do today, then I suggest you get to it while I build this, she snapped at them with a dirty glare. But they didn't argue. Farmer Robbins went to work a few feet away, pulling carrots out of the ground, and his son went back inside the house to finish the table. Alex built the fence very quickly. Fueled by frustration, she had the whole thing done in just under 2 hours. See you later, Amanda. I'll make sure to get this uploaded quickly. She pounded the final nail into the last piece of wood and returned to her unicorn. I'm done, she called to Farmer Robbins, and his son stepped back outside to see the completed fence. He was very impressed by the young fairy's craftsmanship. She retrieved her wand from the ground and jumped onto Cornelius's back. Have a nice day, gentlemen, she said. And by the way, no need to thank me because I'm a fairy and it's my job. Yeah, she's definitely grumbling for Alex, right? She's like, Alex should be appreciated in her time, right? Should Alex be appreciated? Should we say thank you, Alex? Can I have a high five? Thank you, high five. Thank you. Thank you for a high five. I appreciate that. That's so nice. Can you clap? Can you clap? Yay, Alex. Thank you, Alex. You don't want to clap for Alex? She'd appreciate it. Alex would love if you'd clap for her. That's really all she wants. Oh, good job. Thank you. She went like this. She went, like golf claps. You know what? Alex is going to take what she can get. No, it's true. Yeah. Alex and Cornelius galloped away, leaving the two stunned farmers behind them in the dust. It was a few minutes past noon by the time Alex made it back to the fairy kingdom. She left Cornelius in the meadow at the edge of the gardens and hurried toward the fairy palace, not wanting to keep her grandmother waiting even a minute longer. Here, you want this? Oh, come on now. Those aren't going to sting you, said a perky voice in the garden. Tangerina was feeding acorns to a family of squirrels in a tree when Alex ran past her. The bees flying all around Tangerina's beehive were making the squirrels very apprehensive. Hey, Tangerina, Alex said. Oh, my goodness. What happened to you? Tangerina asked when she saw Alex hurrying past her. Between fixing the well and building the fence, Alex had become filthy. You look like you fell into a stream. It's a really long story, Alex said, trying to avoid getting wrapped up in an explanation. Did someone say stream? An airy voice asked from across the garden, and Skylene surfaced in the nearby pond. Her long, silky hair and gown were one with the water as she floated through it. Poor Alex had just had a rough morning, that's all, Tangerina said. I'm just trying to help as many people as I could before noon with my lesson I have with Grandma, Alex told her fairy counterparts. Don't work too hard, Skylene said. You've got a big day coming up. And she floated through the pond and gently touched the surface with her finger, causing gorgeous white lilies to appear all around her. I'm getting a head start on the decorations. I've always loved a good fairy inauguration celebration. It's a good excuse for the kingdom to look its best. I can't wait for the inaugural ball. My bees are making me a brand new honeycomb gown as we speak, Tangerina said. How fancy is the inaugural ball? Alex asked them, feeling a hurricane of anxiety forming inside her. I thought it was just a simple ceremony. Do I have to dress up? Tangerina and Skylene exchanged the same worried look as if she had asked them what the sun was. Sweetheart, the fairy inaugural ball is how you're introduced to society, Skylene said. You need to look how you want to be remembered. Every fairy in the kingdom will be there, Tangerina said, and they're all going to be there to see you. Alex closed her eyes. Oh, great, she said. As if joining the fairy council wasn't enough, now I have to worry about looking nice in front of the whole kingdom. Why does it seem like fairies always spare the details until the very last minute? Not to worry, dear. You'll look fine in whatever you choose, Tangerina said. Yeah, just don't choose that, Skylene said and pointed to the dirty dress that she was currently wearing. Alex sighed quietly and waved her wand over her body and her sparkling dress until it was like new again. Well, good talk, girls. Thanks, she said, and continued up to the fairy palace. Alex rushed up the golden steps of the palace and down the main hall, up a flight of stairs to the top floor where her grandmother's chambers were. There were some of the only parts of the palace that had 4 walls, so Alex actually had to knock. Oh, come in, dear, Alex heard Grandmother say, and she stepped inside. It didn't matter how many times she had been there, her grandmother's room always dazzled her. To call the fairy godmother's chambers anything but spectacular would be a pure understatement. The furniture was made of rosy dust clouds and floated all around the room. Her bed was under the branches of a white willow tree with crystal leaves. Instead of a fire burning in the giant fireplace to one side of the room, bubbles emitted from it and filled the air. A chandelier made of hundreds of perched doves floated above the center of the room, although there was no ceiling for it to even hang from. Every surface of the room was filled with the fairy godmother's collectibles. Jewels given to her by monarchs from both worlds covered the mantelpiece. A table near the fireplace was covered with colorful bottles of potions and elixirs, and a glass display case mounted on the wall contained the fairy godmother's wand collection. A mini library of books of spells, fantasy, and history covered the wall from across the fireplace. But in front of all these valuables were countless family photos of Connor, Alex, and their dad, crayon drawings that they had done for her as a kid, math and spelling tests that they had received A's on, and horrific macaroni creations the twins had made her for Grandparents' Day. She hadn't thrown out anything the twins had ever given her. In the back of the room, elevated on a platform, was the fairy godmother's desk made entirely of glass, and although Alex never saw her sitting behind it, she always found the fairy standing by one of the 4 tall windows behind it that looked out over the breathtaking view of the fairy kingdom. "Hello, Alex," Grandma said by one of the windows. She was in her trademark blue robes that sparkled like the starry sky. "Sorry I'm late, Grandma," Alex said. "Things got a little, carried away while I was granting wishes." "Oh?" Grandma asked. "And why is that?" Alex sighed. "Sometimes I don't know if I should even be a fairy," she confessed. "I mean, don't get me wrong, I love magic and I love helping people. There are days that I get up and I feel so good about what I'm doing for the people, and then other days when I feel like I'm just screwing everything up. Some days I don't even think I'm helping enough people, and then other days I don't think people don't even want my help. And then when I don't feel confident, my magic suffers and it becomes so unpredictable. And when that happens, I feel like I have no business even being on the fairy council." Alex sat on the steps of the platform and rubbed her tired eyes. Her grandmother walked over to her and gently stroked the top of her head. "You're overexerting yourself, Alex," the fairy godmother told her grandmother. "You're only one person. No matter how hard you try, you can't help everyone. And you're beginning to learn that some people can't even be helped, not because they're helpless, but because they don't want to be helped." Alex looked at the floor. This was a hard lesson to learn. "But I am glad you brought this up," Grandma said. "There's something that I wanted to show you. Come, follow me." The fairy godmother helped her granddaughter to her feet and escorted her out of the room and down a very long hall. They stopped at a large pair of doors and an impressive archway. Alex had never seen these doors before. "Where are we, Grandma?" "This," Grandma began with a smile, "is the Hall of Dreams." The fairy godmother pushed the doors open and Alex gasped. Her eyes grew to twice their size. The room inside was unlike anything she had ever seen. It was dark and endless in space that seemed to stretch for miles in every direction. Bright orbs of all sizes floated all around them. It was like the whole galaxy had been squeezed into the room in front of them. They stepped inside and shut the doors behind them. Alex wasn't sure how they were standing, since there technically was no floor. "This room has been here since the beginning of fairies," Grandma said. "What are they?" Alex asked as the orbs flew all around her. "Well, those are dreams. Each and every one of them," her grandma told her. "No matter how big or small the dream, a record of every wish or want can be found in this room." "There are thousands. No, it looks like there's millions of them," Alex said. "Oh yes, possibly more," the fairy godmother said. "And as you can see, even with all the fairies in the world, it would be impossible to make every dream come true. When you look inside them, you can see what they are and who they belong to." A medium-sized orb floated directly into Alex's hand. She peered into it closely, and she could see a small girl wearing a paper crown inside. "See, that little girl dreams of becoming a princess," Grandma said. "You'll find a lot of those in here. We tend to pay special attention to ones like this more." And then one of the largest orbs floated into her hand, and they both looked into it. Inside was a sad little boy who watched over his youngest sister, who sat in a wooden wheelchair. "This little boy would give just anything to see his sister walk again," Grandma said. "It's one of the larger orbs because it's one of the larger dreams. It's easier to hold on to it because of its selflessness. I'm going to save it and see if there's anything I can do for them later," Grandma said, and promptly placed the orb into the pocket of her robes. "So this is how you find all the people that you help?" Alex asked. "Indeed," Grandma said. It's much more efficient than unicorns, don't you think? And the two exchanged a smile. Alex reached for another one, but it wouldn't stay in her hand. Why can't I grab that orb? Alex asked, afraid it was something to do with her. Oh, because whoever that dream belongs to doesn't want your help, and from the looks of it, they don't want you to know what their dream is, Grandma said. Well, that's silly, Alex said. Why wouldn't anyone want me to see it? To know someone's deepest desire is to risk knowing them more than they want to be known, the fairy godmother said. I had to learn that lesson the hard way many times. And Alex thought for a moment and stopped trying to grab the orb. It must be so frustrating seeing all these dreams and knowing that you can't make them all come true, she said. Oh, when I was younger, perhaps, the fairy godmother said. But we should do what we can and not torture ourselves over things we can't do. It's unfair and unrealistic to expect yourself to solve every problem in the world. Never forget that no matter how many dreams you find in here, there would be many more if it weren't for people like us. Every wish granted by the magic from a fairy's wand inspires a dozen more that will be achieved by the magic within the people themselves. Take a look at that one. And the fairy godmother gestured to an orb floating in front of them that slowly faded away until it disappeared. What happened to it? Alex asked. That dream came true, Grandma said, and it had nothing to do with us. After years and years of being inspired by other dreamers, that person made their own dream come true, probably inspired by countless others, and inspired others to do the same. We wouldn't want to live in a world where no one believed in themselves enough to make their own dreams come true. A shy smile came to Alex's face. I think I get what you're trying to teach me now, Grandma. Grandma smiled back at her. Well, I'm glad to hear it. And a small orb landed in the fairy godmother's hand, but instantly faded away. Whose was that? Alex asked. Mine, Grandma said. Every lesson you learn is a dream come true for me, and I have to say, you're learning much faster than I ever did. Alex smiled again. Despite how frustrating her day had been, her grandmother made her feel like she was accomplishing her own dreams. She knew that somewhere in this room, an orb that belonged to her had just disappeared. Now, aside from our lessons, I want you to relax for the rest of the week. You can't help anyone if you don't know how to help yourself first, the fairy godmother instructed her. All right, Alex reluctantly agreed. Thank you for all the lessons, Grandma. And she hugged her and left the Hall of Dreams. She didn't know what to do with herself for the rest of the day. It had been a while since she allowed herself any free time. Once her granddaughter left, the fairy godmother closed her eyes and tiny tears began to form behind her lids. She had never thought it would be possible to be as proud of someone as she was of Alex. She knew one day Alex would be even better of a fairy godmother than she was. And unfortunately, due to some changes the fairy godmother had recently felt inside her, she knew that that day was going to arrive much sooner than either of them wanted. Well then. Well then. I know, right? Jeez. Harsh. So chapter 3 is called Book Huggers. Let's see how long chapter 3 is. We're on page 52 and it goes to page 67. It's not that long. I feel like we probably could do it, but I'm just gonna go grab the rest of her bottle from the fridge real quick, and I think we'll last longer if she has a drink. So give me 1 second and we will start Book Huggers. It's like tree huggers, only books. We're basically book huggers, right? Right? Right. Okay, Mommy, get your bottle. I got it. What do you think? You want some milkies? Yeah, probably, right? You want this? Can you come over here to get it? Do you think you can crawl to it? No? Do you want Mommy to help you? 1, 2, and boom! Can you hold this? It takes 2 hands. It takes 2 hands. Yeah, 2 hands. Very good. You're doing a great job. Good job, honey. Okay, here we go. Chapter 3, The Book Huggers. Connor was having a whimsical dream. He was skipping through the German countryside in bright green lederhosen, merrily swinging a basket of freshly picked flowers. He yodeled happily as he skipped toward the picturesque village ahead of him. Everything was so peaceful, so happy, he never wanted to leave. But suddenly a screeching alarm sounded through the area. It was a familiar sound. It was one he had heard many times before. Connor looked to the sky and saw an evil alien race from the television show that he had watched the night before descending upon the village and begin to attack it. The dream came to an abrupt stop when Connor realized the sound was coming from his alarm clock. He smacked it a couple more times than necessary to shut it off. He was so tired he didn't even feel alive. He felt like his head was filled with a giant cloud that made it difficult to even keep his eyes open. Even though he was glad that he had gotten to spend time with Alex the night before, he was seriously regretting his decision to stay up so late. He got dressed, and he dragged Betsy down the stairs one step at a time. Bob and Charlotte were waiting there for him by the front door. They had always been morning people, a race of people that Connor never understood. Ready, champ? Bob asked, spinning his car keys in his hand. Connor grunted something that sounded like a yes. Charlotte had an early morning at the hospital and was already dressed for work. She put her arms around her son and she hugged him tightly. Make good choices, Connor, she said, but most importantly, try to have fun. Mom, I can't go to Germany if you're still hugging me, Connor wheezed through her tight grip. Oh, I just need another minute, Charlotte said. You're the only kid that I've got left to hug. Once his mother finally let go, Connor threw his suitcase back into the back of Bob's car and they left the house. They stopped at a fast food drive-in for a greasy breakfast, one that they wouldn't have gotten away with if Charlotte was with them, and then they headed off to the airport. Bob happily reminisced about his own European adventures as he drove. Connor faded in and out of the conversation, and subtle bumps and vibrations of the car kept putting him to sleep. Eventually, they arrived at the airport and Bob pulled up to the curbside. Hey, before you get out, there's something that I want to give you, Bob said in a very serious tone. This isn't the birds and the bees talk, is it? Connor asked, fearing for the worst, because I already saw all the videos at school and oh, no, Bob said, and he paused for a moment wondering if that was the talk that he should have been giving him instead. But then he just proceeded as planned. No. I want to give you something that your mother doesn't know about. Bob reached into his front pocket and he pulled out a credit card. He handed it to his stepson. Connor was shocked to see Connor Jonathan Bailey written across the bottom. But that's my name, Connor said. You got me a credit card, Bob? I did, Bob said. The PIN number is the year that you were born, and it's only for emergencies, and only for this trip. Do you understand? As soon as you come home safe and sound, I'm going to take it back. I know your mom's against things like this, but I would rather feel safe than sorry. It is our little secret, okay? Connor excitedly bobbed his head up and down. Yeah, absolutely. Bob, you're slowly becoming my favorite person ever. I mean, thank you so much. Bob smiled and chuckled to himself. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. He patted Connor on the back. You're my family, Connor, and I need to make sure that you're going to be all right. So go have an adventure. I mean, one by normal standards. Try to avoid the evil enchantress and the talking animals as much as possible. Connor spotted Mrs. Peters standing outside the terminal entrance. She was surrounded by a group of 4 girls from school who had all just arrived as well. As excited as he was about the trip, Connor wasn't looking forward to traveling with these girls. Don't worry, Connor reassured Bob. The scariest thing on this trip is waiting for me right over there. Connor gave Bob a hug and grabbed Betsy from out of the back of the car and then waved goodbye as Bob drove off. He joined Mrs. Peters and the group of girls by the entrance. All the girls looked just as tired as Connor. Mrs. Peters, however, looked the same as she always did, which furthered Connor's theory that she was a robot. Good morning, Mr. Bailey, Mrs. Peters said, as perky as ever. Good morning, Mrs. Peters, Connor said. Good morning, Mindy, Cindy, Lindy, and Wendy. None of the girls responded. Connor hadn't expected them to respond. They hadn't said a single word to Connor since school began. Instead, they would just stare daggers at him from afar as if he had publicly humiliated him in the past and never apologized for it. Connor couldn't think of a reason that they did this. He'd never spent much time thinking about it, though. He knew these girls tended to get very strange around their age, and these 4 girls were already some of the strangest ones he had ever met. Mindy, Cindy, Lindy, and Wendy had been inseparable since the 1st grade when they were grouped together by the teacher for a rhyming project. Together, they formed a reading club at school, and they spent every moment that they could in the library. They would have reminded Connor of his sister had they not been so eccentric. Are they eccentric, honey? Yeah, a little bit. How you doing? You found Mommy's leg? Mindy! Milk? You want the rest of it? You're almost done. You almost finished it. What's this? Very good. Is this no spoilers, but yay? Wait, is this what? No, no, it's not. No. I know what you're thinking, Jen, but no. Something completely different. Yeah, no. That's not a spoiler, but no, it's not related. Mindy was the shortest, the loudest, and the self-appointed leader of their group. She wore her hair in pigtails every day as if she was contractually obligated to do so. Cindy was the youngest, and to this day proudly told everyone that she skipped kindergarten. She had also had a mouthful of braces with enough metal to build a satellite. Lindy was African American and she was the tallest girl at school. She even towered over the teachers. She stood a bit hunched over from all the time she spent looking down at people. And Wendy was painfully shy, usually letting the other girls do all the talking. She was Japanese and had very dark hair and the largest eyes that Connor had ever seen on a human being. He had known for a while that these 4 girls were on the trip and it had almost convinced him to stay home. Really? Who's your favorite? You don't like these girls? Do you need help? I think you can do it. You did it. Good job. High five. High five. Yeah, good job. You did that all on your own. Wow, what will you do next? That's very impressive, honey. You figured that out. Very good. Good problem solving. I can't wait to see what you do next. But luckily, Bree was going, which somehow made the whole trip worth it for him. We're just waiting on Miss Campbell to arrive and then we'll get checked in, Mrs. Peters said, looking up and down the curve. You're the only boy on this trip, Mr. Bailey. Are you sure you can handle it? Do you want this milk? You don't want this milk? Milk? No? You want to crawl so bad. She's getting so close. She made a new like addition to her crawl motion today where she knows how to move the hands now. Before she was just scooting her whole body. Hey, you're clapping about it. Good job. You're very proud of yourself. Today she did 1, 2, and then splat her legs. So she hasn't figured out how to do 1, 2, leg, but now she's got 1, 2 arms. So, I mean, that's something, right? Yeah, that's something. You're working it out. You're figuring it out with your smart brain. Yeah, and you're clapping for yourself about it. You're very intelligent. You are a very intelligent young lady. That's right. Do you want this? Do you want it? It's just a little bit more. You only have about a half an ounce left. You want to drink it? This side goes in your mouth. E-I-E-I-O. E-I-E-I-O. Hi, beautiful angel. Her other new thing, you guys, is that sometimes she just goes like this. And it's so funny to see a baby do that. Or like sometimes when I have her the sling, she'll go, ah, like alas, poor Yorick, I knew you well. It's very dramatic. Yay, you're clapping about it. Yay, Hamlet. It's actually a really sad play, but go ahead and clap anyway. Yay! 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 Do you want to sit in your chair while Mommy reads a little more? Maybe? You wanted the chair? What do you think? Oh, good burp. Okay. You're a little drooly, which, I mean, you know, par for the course. Let's get this chair for you, huh? Okay, both legs have to go in for it to work. There you go. That was excellent. That was the fastest you've ever done that with your legs. Very good. You're getting very skilled at this. I'm very proud of you. Okay. Oh, I know. We were just talking, before you got on, we were talking how Autumn was our first book club baby. Okay. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Oh, yeah, Connor said, I'm used to it. My mom and my sister used to talk about all kinds of girl things in front of me, usually over dinner too. I never appreciated that, to be honest. Yeah, she is growing, right? The girls exchanged a dramatic eye roll with one another as soon as Connor mentioned his sister. He couldn't figure out what their problem was. Oh, here comes Miss Campbell, Mrs. Peters said. Sweetheart, sweetheart. It's okay. You're okay. You just want to sing? Connor jerked his head in the direction that she was looking and saw Bree Campbell come walking toward them. The exhausting clouds filling his head instantly deflated. Just seeing her made Connor feel like he had drunk 5 energy drinks. Bree Campbell was unlike any girl Connor had ever met. She was calm and cool, never raised her voice for anything, and seemed to never let anyone or anything affect her in any way. She had blonde hair with a streak of pink and blue in her bangs. She wore bracelets and wristbands by the dozen. She always wore a purple beanie and had an earbud plugged into her ear whenever she could. Good morning, Miss Campbell, Mrs. Peters said. Morning, everyone, Bree said with a yawn. Even the yawn she had was cooler than everyone else, Connor thought. Let's all go inside and get checked in, Mrs. Peters instructed, and they all followed her with their luggage. One by one, they showed their passports to the lady behind the counter and checked in for their flight. Connor was standing in line right behind Bree. He couldn't explain the anxiety that she caused him. He was so excited to just be near her, but terrified at the same time. She's just a girl. She's not a python, he said to himself over and over again. He said, be cool. Don't try to be funny. Just act normal. And when you get home, you're going to need to see a doctor about this. Connor's being crazy pants, don't you think? Yeah. Is Connor a little cray-cray? Yeah. You think he's a little crazy? Yeah. Mindy, Cindy, Lindy, and Wendy are in row 31, seats A, B, C, and D, Mrs. Peters said as she passed out their plane tickets. Connor and Bree are in row 32, seats A and B. Connor's heart was doing cartwheels. I'm sitting next to Bree. I'm sitting next to Bree. Woohoo! He thought. But why does that seem like the best news of my entire life? He got a glimpse. He got a glimpse of Bree's passport photo, which was, to no surprise, far better than his. And Bree caught him staring at it, so Connor had to think fast so he didn't seem like the creeper that he was. Did you just throw your game controller? Are you clapping at your skills? Yeah. What's this? What's this? Look, you're not even looking. There you go. Look at that. You somehow have managed to get drool all up around your eyeballs. And I don't even know how you got it there. Because your mouth is here. And the drool is here. Yeah, it's everywhere. Okay, and then? Oh, are you sure about that? Really? That's quite the story. Do you want to finish your milk? No. Okay. Gosh, I really thought you were going to want that. You just want your pasta? She has that pasta teething ring she loves. You have that pasta. Okay. Really? And then what happened? Are you done for the day? Mommy's gonna see if she can get through this page. So let's see if we get any further. We'll see. Your passport picture is just much better than mine, he said. I got mine over the summer and I made the mistake of asking if I was supposed to smile right as they took it. He flipped his passport open so she could get a glimpse of it. It kind of looks like you sneezed and it scared you, Bree said blankly. But there was no trace of judgment or mockery in her voice. It was just a perfectly honest description. All right, so we're going to pause there, and we will finish the Book Huggers chapter tomorrow. And then the next chapter after that is called A Wedding in the Woods. Who's getting married? Anyone want to take a guess now before we find out tomorrow? Who do you guys think is getting married? Who? Who could it be? Oh, I just stuck my hand in my coffee instead of picking it up. My goal was to pick the cup up. That's not what happened, in case you were curious. Just stuck my fingers right in it. It's good. Who's getting married, sweetheart? Put your guess in now. We'll find out tomorrow. Could be anybody. There's so many people who could be getting married. What do you think? Anybody? Anybody have a guess at who's getting married? A Wedding in the Woods. Yeah, if you know, don't say, of course. But if you don't know, if you've never read this book before, you can make a guess. I can come up with like 5 possibilities. Not Trobella and Connor. Could be Froggy. It's a possibility. A secret baby's getting married in the woods. Or her guess. You're going with her guess. Oh, what's your guess, sweetheart? Did she just say Red and Froggy? Red and Froggy is her guess. Okay, fair enough. It could be Red and Froggy. That's an option. It could be Goldilocks and Jack. That's an option. Rapunzel's not married yet in the last book. Could be Rapunzel. She doesn't have a king yet. Who else doesn't have a king? Snow White's already married. Cinderella's already married. Sleeping Beauty's already married. Jack and Goldie aren't married. Red and Froggy aren't married. Rapunzel's not married. Technically, Bob and Charlotte did have one wedding, but they did say they were also going to get married in their world too. So that's a possibility, right? They did say that in the last book. It says in the woods, but it doesn't say in the magical woods. I can't think of any more options. Can any of you think of any more? Probably not Trobella, because Connor's not in that one. Alex forced to marry someone. Ooh, that would be sad. She's really upset at that prospect. You don't want that for her, do you? No. All right. I'm going to try to get this uploaded as quickly as possible. And tomorrow, maybe someone will sleep just a smidge longer. So today is just another day of prepping for restock. This is a pretty good size restock, you guys. I haven't done a restock this big in a really long time. It's probably going to be over 500 slimes, which doesn't sound a lot compared to like some of my old restocks, but since she's been born, it'll be the biggest restock that we have. So it's solid, you know, which means that at least some stuff will go to the public, which was the reason I made it as big as it is. Yeah, that is the whole kit and caboodle, and it's good. It's good, it's good, right? I think today we're gonna make maybe one more sparkle pop. No, there is no pre-ordering happening in this one. No, the pre-orders only happen when I'm able to make enough for everyone who might pre-order, and this is just what it is. You have your last grab bag. Which one did you get? Oh, soon, sorry, yeah. I already prepped my partner, the budget will be bloodbath. Well, I mean, you can tell your partner that since this is the last one, it's kind of like budgeting for, I don't know, you can call it your Christmas present or whatever like that too, you know. Because it is the last one. But Patreon does get 2 hours and 15 minutes before it goes to the public, so I imagine that everyone on Patreon will get what they want. He said to do your worst. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Speaking of which, Jen and anyone else who either is part 3 days ago, so it will be soon. Yes, it will probably be shipped today or tomorrow, Brittany. Brittany, that is to say, unless you want to use it towards restock, which I've been giving everyone the option to do. What time is the public restock? 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, 3 p.m. Oh no, sorry. Public is 5:15 Pacific time. Patreon is 3 p.m. Pacific time. But Jen and anyone else who has a kiddo in the LGBTQIA community, I would love to gift the remainder of all of my Pride stuff to a kid who it will mean something to. One more Sasha pick, that's fair, totally fair. So if any of your children or you are LGBTQIA and you have a use for any charms or stickers or whatever that are left, I would rather donate them to someone who it's going to mean something to than just sell them off, which I'd rather not do. It feels better to me, at least the stuff from Pride, to gift it. So obviously people like Jen who have, I believe, a teenage bonus child. Correct me if I'm wrong on the age, but I believe your bonus kid is a teenager, and so maybe they would want to take the cool pride stuff and like pass them around to their friends. You know what I mean? Because like even if they're not into slime, the charms can be made into keychains or magnets, or the stickers can just be put on notebooks. You know what I mean? So like, right? They're still cool even if you don't use them for slime. Like the one that's just a tape and it says Pride Vibes. I mean, like it's just an old-fashioned tape that says Pride Vibes. There's nothing that's necessarily slime centric about that. So it can be whatever they want it to be. You know what I mean? So just DM me if you are someone who has a kid who you think would find this loving, and we will gift it to them. So yes, and that is. Thank you so much. I'm having an okay day. Yeah. As good as can be expected circumstantially. So yeah, that's that. Also, if any of you were really big fans of After Dark, I am going to be selling the remaining After Dark charms and supplies. If anyone wants to like hoard them for like a bachelorette party or anything like that, they can be used for that kind of a thing because they're still funny. So that is where those will go. If you want to like sprinkle a table with things I won't say on here. Or a bachelor party, depending on your persuasion, right? So I have a kid getting married in March. Oh, well, see, there you go, Tiffany. That's funny. I'll have to get you something. How do I do that? You have to get me something? Oh no, don't get me anything. You don't have to get me anything. Don't worry about that. I'm actually trying to clean stuff out. So don't send me anything. Let me send you things. We're trying to get that whole room cleaned out so it can be her room. Yeah, it's your room. This room is for you. It's gonna be your bedroom. You need your own room, huh? That's right. So anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. If you fit any of those categories and want to message me, I have something to send you for her room. Okay, well, if I could please beg you to just hold off until we clean out, because we're literally, like, I can't show you, but like even our living room is packed to the ceiling with boxes as we're trying to get everything cleared out. So anything that comes in the mail is probably going to get lost, unfortunately, right now. And I would hate to like say that it just got lost in the shuffle of everything that's going on, you know? So please don't send anything until we are completely cleared out. And then we will move on. Okay. All right, say bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you later. Say bye, guys.